Well, welcome everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Landed for Success with our gifting sponsors. Today we have someone that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. We've known each other for many, many years. He is a super businessman, entrepreneur, family man, and right now helping to lead the charge with our local, national, and international expansion with Landed for Success. So please help me to welcome Mr. Terence Lushington.
Ah, thank you, Gordon. Thank you for that intro. It makes me feel like it's a Monday.
Isn't it?
Well, folks, welcome. And I hope when you watch and you log in and listen, please take notes because there's a lot of information that will come at you by one of my close friends, one of my spot guests, who, by the way, we're featuring for the third interview. So she's already had 2 interviews and going in for the third, but this is going to be a little in-depth. So hi to May. May, my girl. Very good.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
So May is going to tell Go ahead, Gordon.
I know you're going to get into this, but I'm ready for a massage. I'm ready for acupuncture, so you guys go ahead.
Oh, I'm ready for you.
And it's true. It's true for those who are listening. May is so busy that once you get her number, once you get a contact, please book a time because you will be given a time because she is so booked up and tied up. So May, love you back. And I just want to get down to the nitty gritty because we do have about 20, 25 minutes to get down to this. So if you don't mind getting into little details as to what is traditional Chinese medicine. It's so important. And by the way, my intro is done, so I'm okay with all the information given from God. And God is one of the great guys and leaders. And when I read about God and stuff, it's amazing. So I just shift back. I had to mention that. May, it's all yours. What is Chinese traditional medicine?
So traditional Chinese medicine, also known as TCM, is actually an ancient system of medicine that's at least 5,000 years old. So it's made up of different modalities, such as acupuncture, cupping, herbal medicine, tuina massage, even moxibustion and Qigong. So TCM is based on the theory that all of the body's organs are mutually support each other. So when an individual's organs and their functions are in balance, then they'll be healthy. So in order to maintain this balance, we have to make sure the yin and the yang of the body, or the energies, the yin and yang energies of the body are in harmony. So yin and yang are opposing but complementary energies believed to affect all life. So cold and hot are examples of yin and yang. So we see symptoms as an imbalance in the yin and yang energies of the body. So we try to correct these imbalances using the different modalities in TCM. So the better the balance, then the better one will feel emotionally and physically. So that's kind of the gist. Yeah.
well, you know what? It takes more depth to understand more. And like I said, the only way to do it is to see you in person, talk to you, and set up an appointment. I'm not trying to sell you on it. I'm not trying to sell the people on it. But if you don't try it, you won't know it. And it comes to my second thought of question that, how would you explain in your own words more details which each help the modality in what happens and how it works?
Sure. So let's start with acupuncture because that's kind of the main modality used in TCM. So acupuncture involves the insertion of fine needles into specific points of the body in order to treat the imbalances of the body. So I can show you kind of just, as in general, what some acupuncture needles kind of look like. So there's different lengths, as you can see. And then I have even smaller ones. So there's different sizes, kind of depends on what areas of the body I'm going to use them on. Sometimes the general question people have is how is it painful? Is it, how does it feel? Most people come in for pain, and usually I tell them, your pain is probably more painful than what the needles will feel, right? So the needles, once they go in, they're just like a little, kind of like a mosquito bite. And sometimes people don't even feel it, right? But I also have these, which are called actually ear seeds, and they go into the ear just by the ears so that you stimulate specific points. So I will place them in specific areas. So if somebody wants to come in for, let's say, weight loss, there's specific points around the ear that can treat that, and they can just press on that. But yeah, so in how it works, like in Chinese medicine, so we see the body as having pathways or meridians running throughout the body, head to toe, where energy, what we also call qi, the vital energy, flows through these pathways. And so when the flow of qi in the meridians is blocked or weak or in excess, it manifests as different symptoms in the body, such as pain or anger or stress, right? So acupuncture is effective in releasing these blockages. And the less blockage of qi in the meridians, the better one will feel. Okay, so that's basically acupuncture. Another modality we use called tuina massage. So tuina, it's believed to be one of the oldest systems of body work. And tuina, spelled Tuina, literally means pinch and pull. So it's used to stimulate the flow of qi to promote balance and harmony within the body using the same principles of acupuncture. So, but instead of using needles, I'm using the fingers to work on those pressure points. And so tuina massage can be, done as a stronger deep tissue massage or as a gentle energetic treatment. So it kind of really depends on the specific needs of the patient. And it's often used in combination with acupuncture. Okay, so that covers the acupuncture, the tuina, and then I'll move into cupping. So cupping, traditionally cupping uses, glass cups. So I have like different sizes here. So larger, so the different sizes, kind of are used for different areas of the body. So basically, like the back, we'll use maybe the larger cups, and top of the shoulders, we can use the smaller cups, or even on the arms, legs, right? So how it actually works is we try to create a section, in the cup we create a section on the skin by creating a vacuum in the cup. So that's used to increase the flow of energy, qi, and blood in the body. So which helps to release tension in tight muscles, release excess cold and heat in the body. And as I already showed you, the cups come in different sizes. So sometimes after cupping, there's like bruising, in the different areas where the cups have been sitting. So the bruising, but the bruises don't hurt like a regular bruise. They actually just look worse than it actually is. So often the darker the color, of the bruise, it gives an idea of or indication where maybe more blockage and stagnation of energy and blood is. Wow. So over time, as we do more cupping, the color should be less and less, which kind of shows the improvement of blood flow and circulation in the body. So that's I always say, like, I always say this lie, like it's like the cups never lie,
That's
Right.
funny because my son is an athlete, plays hockey, and many of the hockey players I know, they do cupping.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing like all these big red spots in their back, and like, hey, doesn't it hurt?
Right.
But no, they actually live for the day that they can actually go back and do cupping. Just an interesting question from my perspective. Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
Those red marks, how long does it stay there for?
So it kind of depends. Yeah, the darker the color, the longer it will stay usually. So it kind of fades away like a regular bruise. So if it's really, really dark, like a purple, black almost color, that could take about a week. If it's a light kind of pink, then in a day or two even. So it kind of depends. So yeah, so if people are going, let's say, to a party or wedding or anything like that, always make sure that I let them know that. And so, but you can still do cupping that will not leave marks by sliding the cups. So if you slide the cups along like the muscle, it won't leave any marks. It'll look just maybe like a little bit pink at the moment. But it's only when you let them sit on the body that it will leave like those bruises. But yeah, it just feels amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's so interesting, God, that you asked the question, because I know I've had cupping in my days, and each, I would call them acupuncturist or cupping expert, does it in a different form. Some of them use the ash and they use the pen, or they use the coal, and it's all done differently, and it's very, very unique. But that's coming to the next part of what you do, and you surprised me because I suffer severely from gout. I mean, severely from gout. And you had mentioned to me that, Terence, acupuncture is one of the best things for gout.
Yes.
And I totally forgot because my mind was focused on other things. And I realized that, wow, I should have come a long time ago to you for the acupuncture. And of course, you booked me already in. I hope so. Because we'll get that going. So, Gord, is there anything else you might want to ask when I move, or can I move ahead?
No, that's amazing. Anybody who's watching, this is our good friend, Terence Lushington, who is leading our gifting sponsor program and much more here at Landed for Success. So I recommend that if you would like to be a gifting sponsor, if you'd like to be part of any of our free online networking events, and we've got some live events coming up as well, please reach out to Terence. In the meantime, my new friend, Mai, who does traditional Chinese medicine. Look, I just finished playing ball hockey last night for the first time in 2 years, because of the pandemic. And the guys are aged between 35 to 60 and up. Would you believe it? And we run and run. And some of the guys, they love cupping. But I didn't know about what you just said, Terence, like gout. I have some friends who have issues with gout.
Absolutely.
So if you're watching, please reach out to Mai-Yee, right? If you're concerned about some of your health issues, if you always, okay, I want to do, I've seen acupuncture. People brag about it, right? And I don't know much about it, but you've got somebody here who has years and years of practical experience, who's treated patients from every walk of life, up to athletes as well. So that's what I would say. Please make sure you reach out to Mai-Yee or reach out for Terence. And if you have any questions for either one of them, leave a comment in the post that we're going to be posting as well, or please reach out and we'll definitely connect you to me. So
fantastic.
Thanks so much,
Thanks again. So moving on, I know that, TCM, which is traditional Chinese medicine, is a broad spectrum, May. It's a broad spectrum.
Yeah.
So what other treatments can you ignite to the public and make them feel that, oh, I didn't know that. Like we just said ourselves, both of us are so experienced, and Gordon is such an athlete, and I didn't know that about gout. So could you just stress a little more where all this traditional Chinese medicine can help out?
Sure. So, I could go into a little bit about the herbal medicine if you want. I'll touch a little bit on that. And I was thinking also even the moxibustion, because not a lot of people actually know what that is. And I often use it quite a lot in my practice. And then there's something called Qigong as well. Now, I don't actually teach that, but, I think it'd be something maybe your viewers would be interested in, learning a little bit about, see what's out, like something extra they can also do. So, I'll go into the herbal medicine. So herbal medicine is actually one of the world's most ancient forms of healing. And it uses plants and natural substances for therapy or medicinal purposes. Right. So Chinese herbal medicines treat the root cause of an illness rather than the individual symptom. And after determining a patient's specific needs, then we can create a customized formula that to stimulate the body's natural healing powers. So there are 3 types of Chinese herbal formulas, and the patient and practitioner usually we decide what's the best, which is the best form for their needs. So there's the loose herbs, which are considered the most potent of the 3 forms, but since they're in raw form, they have to be brewed into a tea. And just a side note, they don't taste very good, but it's the trade-off is that they are very effective, right? So that's why we use them. And the other form is called granulated herbs, which is a concentrated powder extract. And these are easier to prepare than the raw herbs because you just mix the granules into hot water and drink it as a tea. And then there are the patent herbs, which come in a tablet or capsule or pill form. And so those are the most popular because they're convenient. But the only thing is we can't really customize them as we can with the granulated and the loose herbs, right? So that's kind of the general, explanation of herbal medicine. Then the moxibustion. So moxibustion, it's like the other modalities, the goal of moxibustion is to bring the body into balance and improve the flow of qi. So this is achieved by burning moxa close to or even directly on the skin. So I'll just show you like the different types. So this is the charcoal version. So this is the one, or smokeless. And it's the herb we use is actually called mugwort. And they have just created this charcoal version of it. And then there's this one, which is like a little roll. So that's the loose herb, that loose herb of mugwort that they've kind of tightened into the roll. So how we use this one is we stick this on the end of an acupuncture needle and we kind of heat it up. And so that gets a deeper, kind of deeper effect, to the acupuncture. And I guess what else can I say about moxa? Moxa just kind of creates a better, deeper stimulation of energy and blood flow. And most people the effects, what you'll feel is that it leaves a warm and soothing sensation during the treatment. Sometimes people feel it even afterwards, that's the soothing sensation. And then there's the Qigong. So Qigong, Qi, as I already discussed earlier, means life force energy. And Gong means work or gather. So Qigong together is a form of light exercise that involves repeated movement, practice breath work, stretching, and increasing the fluid movement of the body. So this helps to increase energy and enable the body to heal itself. So some benefits of practicing Qigong is to improve an improved immune system, relaxation, reduce stress, better sleep, and better concentration, and even more energy. So that's kind of a general, explanation of the main types of modalities that we use in TCM.
Thank you.
So I don't know if
Now it's interesting because when you said about Qigong, you and I have discussed this, and we were going to go to see the master and all that with Qigong. You don't do that personally, but when would you suggest that somebody should go to get that energy level impacted upon them?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I, through my training, I've learned, kind of basic Qigong. It is something else actually I would like to get into more, over time. It's similar to Tai Chi as well, right? Because all of these systems help, the overall health of the body, right? So as far as, who to see for Qigong, I do have a reference, and maybe, I can recommend that you have them on an interview one day, right? So I have been seeing this man named David Leopold, and he used to actually teach the Qigong out of one of the senior centers I used to work out of. So so through that, I've learned some basic, movements, and sometimes we incorporate it into the treatments. So it could be just simple things like a stretch, right? That, if somebody came in with a certain injury or stiffness, in their joints or something, then I can kind of recommend a simple exercise that is part of the Qigong that can help with the overall, health of the person.
Okay.
But
interesting.
Yeah.
I got to ask you, because I know you. I've known you for many, many years. But could you just let the audience know, who Mai-Yee really is? How long has Mai-Yee been doing what she does? What does she do besides what she does? And also, you've taken care of athletes. I remember at pinball when you invited me over to come and see I said, I don't want to see big guys bigger than me. but tell us a little more about your journey. Let's put it that way.
You know what? That's kind of a big question. I don't know how much time you have, but
we've got about 6 minutes to go.
Okay.
But if you could abbreviate that in just your years, what you've done, what you've achieved, who you've helped, just small segments, because what's going to happen is that there's so many acupuncturists, there's so many cupping out there, but then from my point of view, there's a Mai-Yee, right? So that's what I want the audience to know. Why should they be on this platform, which is Landed for Success, which we do bring the community and the people together so that there's an inner feeling, not that, there's so many out there, but in our community, there's a Mai-Yee who can help us out. at a very moderate price as well.
Thank you. So I guess, I mean, I could start like, I guess when I was first inspired to go into medicine was when I was like 12 years old. And I really saw like how, you know, my grandmother at the time, she was really ill. And, you know, I felt like so helpless. Like I felt like, you know, I wish there was something I could do to help her feel better. Right. And so that kind of really, you know, started the whole, you know, kind of passion to help people like on a bigger scale. Right. And, you know, and it kind of stuck with me since, you know, at that age. And then I just kind of went on that journey. And that was my passion, was to help people, whatever, in any way I can. Right. As I got older and, you know, before I kind of, or as I was getting into university, you know, when I was in university, I was trying to explore different ways to, you know, I guess, you know, kind of break away from study like all the time, because I was doing like life sciences and it was just such a heavy load, you know, and I wanted to do something kind of outside of that. And I don't know, I just kind of looked into like volunteering maybe, you know, at different places. And so I started off, you know, like volunteering, you know, as, you know, delivering Meals on Wheels, you know, for seniors and the disabled. And then I, you know, was volunteering with Big Sisters and Big Brothers of Ontario, right? You know, so like an in-school program with, you know, 2 girls, you know, doing arts and crafts or homework or, you know, whatever they needed. And then I even volunteered at Toronto General Hospital for, you know, for a couple of years, you know, so I was exploring all these different things, you know, to see kind of what would grab my attention. And then I got into working with special needs children. So, you know, I kind of always am one to look for, like, I like challenges, you know, and from this, you know, description of like, you know, what they were looking for respite workers, right, to work with special needs, I thought, you know, that's me, you know, and I had all these like different interests and everything. So I thought, you know, I could be of service, right? And so I started working with, you know, mostly autism, but, you know, some Down syndrome and just like rare genetic, you know, disorders. And through that, you know, over the years, like I've stuck with, you know, some of these families, right, over time. And, you know, it's just so rewarding to be able to help people in different ways, you know, whether it's in my practice or outside of my practice, you know, to be able to give back. And it's crazy because people always say, you know, you do so much for other people. And yet sometimes I still feel like I could do even more, you know, like Excellent. It sounds crazy, wow. But it's, yeah. And I just, you know, so out of all the interests I have, like whether it's in my artwork or my writing or, you know, these extracurricular things, you know, I'm always trying to figure out a way, like, how can I use these, you know, skills or talents to help people, like, you know, and so having like written 2 books in the last, or chapters in 2 books in the last, you know, couple of years, you know, people have come to me and they said, you know, wow, your like story is so inspirational. It's so like, you know, empowering, right? Yes. And that just like means so much to me because, you know,
maybe you have a third story inside.
Definitely. I am not stopping, you know.
Well, you know what? Yeah, Gordon,
it's kind of like a shameless plug, right?
It's good. It's good.
Auto suggestion. No.
It's good that Gordon picked up on that because I like I said, May, she's written a couple of chapters in 2 other books, and she definitely likes to tell the story. And if you may give me permission to, May, because I've known you a long time, and you've suffered from your own personal issues of health as well, and to give out to others and also sustain your own personal health. And I know you really had issues, and my God, you came through it in real honorable numbers, because you really perfected the art of taking your inner health and also helping others. So we both thank you for that and really appreciate that. God, would you want to add something more, if you don't mind?
Absolutely. Why don't we wrap up here? First of all, I want to thank you so much, May, for taking the time to be with us here. The great questions that Terence have been able to ask to educate us more on what is it that you do? What are your superpowers, right? How does traditional Chinese medicine help us get healthier? And, you know, as I'm listening to some of what you're talking about, I love how not only are you building an incredible practice, but your willingness to continue to give and go the extra mile. I would love to talk to you a bit more about, you know, my daughter's written a book, beautiful book about an 11-year-old that has autism.
Wow,
And I think it's something
nice.
that you and I could talk about. And I was able to help a friend of mine who had a son that had was born with Down syndrome,
Huh.
and he initially thought this can't be my kid. He wouldn't accept it. He says, you know, God's got to be playing a trick on me. It's got to be somebody else's kid. He became an alcoholic.
Huh.
But thank goodness, whatever it was, he snapped out of it within months. And for the last 30 some odd years, he's been his son's biggest advocate. And Jonathan, we came up with a brand called Powered by an Extra Chromosome. And it's to
Oh,
raise awareness, right, for Down syndrome and so on. So I don't want to drag on with the story, but as I hear you talking about your spirit of just giving and giving and giving, there's so many things I think, you know, you're going to be able to contribute to our Land for Success community. And the one thing I'm going to share is, you know, you're here in the GTA. I know it's worldwide, but the world's such a small place. If you know an individual in the GTA, reach out to me. Look, I play ball hockey with 90 guys who have never grown up yet. We're from 35 to 60, and we play ball hockey every week. We all have aches and pains. And you probably know where Trinity Bellwood is.
oh yes.
So the West End, we have another group of guys. And a number of years ago, uh, I was invited to play for Team Hong Kong.
Oh,
But
nice.
really, they wanted my son. Because they figured they get me, they get my son. And I didn't realize, May, that there was 100,000 members
Wow.
worldwide in the something called International Ball Hockey Association. So
Wow.
already I can see like individuals that I know that could be using May services. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yeah,
So if
absolutely.
you guys are watching, you're thinking, okay, I need that massage, right? I need to get healthier. Please do what reach out to me. So thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I'm looking forward to having more conversations with you, learning more about you know, diving, you know, doing some more deep dives into what you're doing.
Thank
So
you. Yeah, thank
thank
you.
you, and I'll pass this back to Terence to wrap up.
Thank you very much, Gordon. And by the way, folks, if you don't know, Gordon is one of the founding members of Landed for Success. There are two of them, JJ Thanan and Mr. Gordon So. And I happen to be one of the founding members that joined him way back when and had the privilege and pleasure of enjoying what we've brought to the table. You know, so they brought the platform. We're just expanding it. We're at 19,100 followers at the moment, and they're growing every day by leaps and bounds. What you see just now is May discussing her profession to expand her business and help others. So what the platform of Landed for Success is basically that. And I'm telling you, once you get on board, it's not doesn't cost the $500 to do a video. Like May's had a third video done with us, and she knows it didn't cost much at all. It costs zero. So just come in and become a member. It's very vital that you become a member. We have a few lifetime memberships left, which are at only $100 for a lifetime membership. Never heard of that before in our life. Every Thursday, last Thursday of the month, we do have a meet and greet. We have a quick speeds and networking, and we have spot guests like me come on, they speak, and then they further expand in a conversation after the fact. So we call it the after party business meetup. And it's important that you really take a serious look at this, not only for others, but for your personal development and business, because it's so important as we get out of this pandemic and we get into the real life of starting our living, that we get to a right platform where we can expand what we really have been trying to do for the last 18 months. So with that, I've got to thank May for being our special guest one more time, and Mr. Gordon So for putting it together, because he really took the time. He was out away for a week. He came rushing back just to put this together for all of us. We thank you very much. We thank the audience. If you want to reach out, May, you mind giving your number, or your, not your number, but your email, or some contact that we can get out there, or Gordon might just put it on the platform.
We'll make sure that all happens. Don't need
Yeah,
to
yeah.
post everything. We're going to have May, all of the information where you'll be easily get in touch with me. And if you have any further questions, please reach out to us, info@landedforsuccess.com, and we'll 100% make sure you get all the questions answered and you're in direct contact with me so you can get whatever you need to improve your health.
Perfect. Thank you so very much, guys. Thank you for the time, and thank you for bringing the message out. It's important that we get this message out to all those who haven't heard. And there's a repetition. This same podcast will be shown on 7 different platforms. And once it's shown, reach out, and then May will give me a feedback as well. How many people really wanted to hear me talk? And she doesn't like to talk. Thank you very much. Stay well, stay blessed. Thanks again, May, Gordon. Once again, as always, thank you. God bless.
Thank you to you both. Thank you.